Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sharon and I'm a registered clinical nutritionist. So today I'm going to discuss about nutritional management of type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes occurs when the body produces insufficient insulin, or when the body resists the produced insulin in the body. So that's why it is important for people with diabetes to usually check their diet, to take their medications on time and all that. So the main reasons why one should control their blood level, their blood glucose, is to improve the quality of life, and then to prevent further chronic complications of body organs such as the kidney, the eyes, the heart, the nerves also, and what I think those ones. So when it comes to diet, one has to check their portion sizes, their timing of the meals, and then the glycemic index of the meals they are taking. So for the portion sizes, usually you should take the carbohydrates, the size that we usually use. You should check the size of the carbohydrate should be like a fist of your hand. Everybody has a different size of a hand, so the need of a carbohydrate is different from one person to another. So when you have like a fist, this is my size of a carbohydrate. So for people with diabetes, you check your carbohydrates because they're usually high in sugar, not high as per se, but they're usually broken down to sugar, so they can be absorbed into the cells. So the carbohydrates also should be healthy, not non-processed, because processed meals tend to be high in fat, high in sugar, and then the salt also. So you should take that whole carbohydrates that they are not processed. Let's say if it's rice, it should be brown rice, or if you can't find brown rice, you limit the size of the white rice you have. And then let's say for the proteins, usually we advise someone to take 3 to 6 pieces of the meat, and if it's red meat, you should cut off the fatty part of the meat, because type 2 diabetic people tend to gain weight, and it is important to limit their fat intake. It is important to take, yes, fat, but healthy fat, the good fats, such as the avocados, the nuts. Those are the healthy fats. For the cooking oil, you can use vegetable oil or olive oil, depending on your status or something like that. Not status per se, but what you can afford. But you avoid those solid fats, because they tend to, with time, when you overuse the solid fats, they tend to block your arteries, then you increase your chances of getting heart diseases. So another thing you should check on is your vegetables. Vegetables are very good for those people suffering from diabetes type 2, because they are high in fibers and vitamins, so they help you in maintaining or reducing your weight. So because I've said before, people with type 2 diabetes tend to gain weight, so you should check on your diet to help you maintain or reduce your weight. And then apart from checking your portion size, there is timing of your meals. So timing of your meals, one should take small frequent meals. That is when we say you take breakfast, you wait like 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours, you take your next meal. And then when you are taking your meal, you should not be that like too full, and then you should not be too, let's say, should not be too much or too little, just in between, because you are consuming your meals just small and frequent, to make sure that your energy is distributed evenly throughout the day, to avoid the imbalance of the blood sugar levels in your body. So apart from checking your small, like the time of your meals, you should never skip breakfast, because when you sleep, there is that fasting period before waking up, before morning. So when you wake up, you should take your breakfast. Never skip your breakfast because you are saying you don't have time. Because if you skip your breakfast, it will be difficult for you to control your blood sugar throughout the day. So it is important never to skip your breakfast. Another thing, apart from the portion, let's say you eat your heavy breakfast, and then for lunch you just eat a little, not too little or too much, just in between. And then for your dinner, you just take a little to just take you through the fasting period of the night. And then it is important never to take just any like food just before bedtime, because it will affect your blood sugar level. So unless you're under medication, you're taking your, let's say you are taking your insulin before bedtime, you just take your insulin, then you wait for 30 minutes, then take something light like yogurt or a cup of milk, so that your blood sugar level can be controlled. And then apart from that, there is usually someone should check their glycemic index of the food they are taking. For example, what I mean by glycemic index is, for example, if there's carbohydrates, the type of carbohydrates, there are those are the complex carbohydrates and the simple carbohydrates. So the simple carbohydrates are like glucose. The glucose one are just when you take in them, they are taken directly into the body. They don't need metabolism or something like that to be broken down to be taken to the body. So for example, the glucose have high glycemic index. So for the complex carbohydrates, like the whole carbohydrates that are not processed or anything, they have low glycemic index. So they are broken down slowly, then taken to the body. So for people suffering from diabetes, you should check on your food. They should be low in glycemic index, because you need food that are taken slowly, broken down slowly in the body, to distribute the energy evenly in the body, so that your blood glucose level does not shoot or does not become high. Other tips apart from your portion size and the timing and the glycemic index, one should exercise, because and before exercising, you should make sure you eat before and after exercising, to to avoid that sugar imbalance in your body. Exercise is important because people with type 2 diabetes, as I said before, tend to gain weight. So it is important for you to do some exercise, maybe twice or once in a week. Like if you are living in a sedentary lifestyle, you should make sure you just do some house chores or something to keep you busy, or to make your body like very active, to burn out that excess calories or something. So another tip: when traveling, you should never when traveling you should carry a snack, because you don't know when your blood glucose can go like very low, and you don't have something to return it to normal. So it is important to make sure you carry a snack, a healthy snack, such as a fruit or a yogurt or something very healthy, so that you can take it, you can consume it while traveling. Another thing, you should avoid processed meals, because they are high in fat, they are high in sugars and salts. So especially salt, people with the type 2 diabetes tend to be like to have high blood pressure. So you should check on your food when adding. You should never add salts in your food, or you can just emit or limit your salt in your food, so to avoid high risk of getting high blood pressure. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. So if you have any question, please, I have my social media down below, on my link down below, so you can contact me through there, or you can comment, and I'll sure get back to you. So don't forget to subscribe, and see you on my next video. Bye.